So let's go ahead and get started right away because I have a lot of content for you guys. I actually put this deck together right after the release notes came out. So I spent some time yesterday and the day before, no, yesterday and today, to make sure that, right, the stuff that Microsoft took off of their website is no longer on my slides, and some of the new stuff that they announced is now also in my deck. So it's going to be it's going to be up to date at least. So that's good. So real quick about myself, I'm a pre-sales director here at RSM. I've also done a couple of courses on LinkedIn. I think I have 4 floating around there now. And I'm also a Microsoft MVP. So yeah, I don't have a life and I don't need to have a life either because I really like what I do. As pre-sales, I really get to play around with like the new features and stuff like that, which in turn I can then create content about, right? So I try to write content, so blogging on my D365 Goddess blog and on my YouTube channel once a week. So I do an article once a week, I do a video once a week, but when I'm out presenting on site, then obviously I'm usually a week after that. So having said that, let's just dive in right into Dynamics 365 sales, and there are a lot of features that are part of this wave. And you've probably seen some of them already in some of your clients or your own environments, right? So let's just go ahead and start right in there. So this is the sequence preview, and you probably have seen this already because this feature has actually been in preview since June of last year. So it's been around, and it seems to have a little bit of overlap with a couple of other features that you'll see. Now, according to the release notes, we're going to be able to see the details of the sequence that is related to the record. And you can kind of see that in here, right? You can see that preview of all the steps in the sequence. And then I can also see the steps. If I click on no, what are the steps? And if I click on yes, there are different steps. So we're going to be able to see that as well. There are going to be some more details, which I'll show you in the demo a little bit later as well. And this is kind of stacking on top of what I just showed you, right? This feature actually allows us to connect multiple sequences to a sales row in Dynamics 365 sales. We couldn't do this before, right? We could only associate one sequence. And I think this is a very important feature because there's so many scenarios where you're going to have different people that could be working on the same customer or on the same opportunity at the same time, right? So think about, one person could be working to invite that prospect or that customer to an event or something like that, and another seller could be closing a deal with them, and somebody else is doing some nurturing and reach out, right? So you could have all the different sequences there now related to one sales record, which I think is a great feature for sure. Now, the other thing that we can do, again, this is kind of stacking on top of the one that I just mentioned, is allowing us to not just preview all the sequence steps, but we can also review other folks, right, who are also using sequences on a record. So you could kind of see that over here, that I have 2 sequences. One is assigned to me, and the other one is assigned to Teresa. So it's kind of like flowing into each other, right, some of these features in here. Now, this one has everything to do with the work assignment feature in the Sales Accelerator. Now, if you're not familiar with work assignment, it allows you to configure assignment rules for sales records in Dynamics 365, so opportunities, leads, etc. So the added functionality here is that we're going to be able to configure notifications for each assignment rule that you have created, and then the notifications can be triggered when a record has successfully been assigned or when the assignment failed. I probably don't want to get a notification every time something is assigned successfully, right? What if you get like 200 leads per day? I really hope nobody gets 200 leads per day because that's just insane, right? But it's nice to be able to configure that. Now, this is currently set to become available in August of 2024. I kind of, like I said, went through the release notes again to kind of also see when is the GA, because in my old slide it said that I think it was April or something first, but I guess they're pushing out some of those features. And I apologize for these images that are very, you can barely see it, right? Thank you, Microsoft. This is coming directly from the Microsoft website, and I'm sure most of you know that those images are very blurry, right? Unfortunately. Now, this is also in that same area that I was just talking about, right? So this is going to allow us to limit how many sales records can be assigned to sellers, right? So it kind of says that different capacity profiles can be created based on lead columns, which makes me believe that this functionality might only be related to leads. But then again, if we look at this very blurry screenshot, then it shows the ability to set that capacity for leads and opportunities. So we're going to have to wait to see if I'm right or not. So this is actually currently set to become generally available in September. So we have to do a little bit more waiting for that one. This one, I don't even want to spend a lot of time on. This is really that new look, right? If you click on this little button, new styling, drop shadows, brighter backgrounds, field controls. I'm not even going to mention all of that stuff, but you probably noticed that with the new release enabled, this is now the out of the box default setting, right? So you're going to see that new refreshed look over there. And I'm really looking forward to this one as well, because this is going to give us more options to configure the lead qualification process. And we're going to be able to determine which fields will be pre-populated from the lead to the opportunity record. And then we can configure if the account contact and or opportunity records will be automatically created or if they will be created by the qualifying seller. Now, I'm very curious about this because we kind of had some of this stuff already. And then also when we're talking about, right, bringing over those fields from a lead to an opportunity, we would already do that in field mappings, right? So I'm very curious to see how this is going to change that configuration that we did previously. So that's kind of what the admins can do. Then we also have what the sellers can do. And you can kind of see here some of the different things that we can do here. But one of the things that I'm most excited about is the ability for sellers to take advantage of that lead qualification summary that you can see here on the screen, right? It kind of gives you that summary provided by Copilot. Now, and this one, I'm not sure when this is coming out. It says public preview this month, but I didn't see it yet. I guess we're still kind of early in May anyways, but can't wait to see that one. I think that one is going to be very, very cool. This one also, I'm not going to really, spend a lot of time on. Focused view, we all know focused view, right? You can now see that this is actually the default view for the lead entity. I'm not sure if I like that, but I believe you can turn that off as well. What I do like is that when you select one or multiple records in that focused view, you can actually now access the command bar for those one or multiple records, right? Previously, we didn't have that, right? So we would have to open those records individually and then make changes, or if we needed to do something on that command bar, right, we would do that from the record. So now you can do that for multiple records by using this this focused view. I'm like, what is it called again? This focused view command bar right over there. All right, demo time. Let's go ahead. And I wanted to show you those sequences over here, right? So if you click over here, these multi-step opportunity sequence, this is kind of what I was talking about earlier, right? So you can see all the different steps. This is what happens when I say yes, automated email, invite, prepare for quote meeting. If I say no, look at that, then I'm going to send an email. But I can also see over here the progress, right? I am on step 2 of 8 steps. So it's given me a lot of information. If I click here on about sequence, you can see some other things as well. We have a max of 6 steps. This was created then by me, assigned to me. What is it called, right? All that kind of cool stuff over here. And then if I click back, this is what we saw on the screenshot earlier, right? Now I can also take a look at my trade show sequence, which is assigned to Teresa, right? 1 step of 6 if I want to learn more, 6 steps created by me, assigned to Teresa. So you kind of have the ability to look at all of those things directly here within that sales record, right? Whether that's an opportunity or a lead or an account or whatever type of record that is. All right, moving right along. This one is really nice. This is actually one of my favorites. Also, I love all the Copilot stuff. I really do. I know some people tell me like, if somebody's going to say Copilot one more time, I'm going to throw myself off a building. But I kind of like it. I'm sorry. So this feature is going to allow us to chat with Copilot in Dynamics 365 Sales, or what is it called now? Sales Copilot or Copilot for Sales. I don't know. Microsoft just changes the name like every other day, it seems like. So we could just ask about documents, right? And then you can see here, show me similar products. Oh, here are some products of similar leads. And it's showing us some of those documents over here. Now, according to Microsoft, we're going to be able to configure the sources that we want Copilot to use for finding and summarizing those sales documents, right? I'm not sure what that means. If that's SharePoint or SharePoint on OneDrive or both, or are we going to be able to point it to particular SharePoint folder? So we'll have to kind of see what that means. But it's really funny because there's a couple of features that really talk about Copilot and generating documents from SharePoint, and this is one of them. Now, if I go to the next one, I figured let me just put them next to one another so you can kind of see what that is. This is very similar to the one that I just mentioned, but it's not really the same because this feature allows sellers to get files that are related to opportunity products. Right. So this is going to be obviously a big productivity booster because I don't know about you guys, but I am always looking for documents and I can never find my documents. So this is going to make that a lot easier. So today, this is actually pointing at SharePoint and then using the out-of-the-box SharePoint search, right? So it's searching through everywhere. It's not like you're pointing it at a particular document or something like that. I'm just hoping that we're going to be able to get some more restrictions on where we want to search. Maybe point it to like a library where we have all the sales documents. I don't know. We'll see. We don't know if we can do that, but you can preview this today. You can kind of see here it says preview, right? So you can actually take a look at how that works today. And this one is not out yet. So again, this feature allows us to view opportunity suggestions from Copilot. And these suggestions actually come from historical opportunity data. And they're actually based on several data points like industry, product, account, geography, right? And according to the release notes, this is going to be public preview this month. I didn't see it yet. I'm waiting for it, but it's not there yet. So we'll see what happens with that one. Can't wait to get my hands on that one. And let's see here. Here's another one. So this feature can be enabled for any Dynamics 365 app, according to the release notes. And you really get a 360-degree view of an account, which is built using all the data associated with that account. And then you can also get a summary of the associated opportunities, learn more about associated leads, and then get the latest news about the account as well. So another one, just like I said, just a lot of additional stuff in Copilot. Now, this one just showed up in my instance today, which was kind of funny. So it was actually announced during Ignite last year, and I was lucky enough to see Eric Bucock from Microsoft demo it. So as you can see, there's not a lot to it, right? It just puts Copilot on his own full screen on his own page inside of Dynamics, and then you can just start to ask question to Copilot to get information. Now, mine doesn't look like this yet. That's probably because this is more advanced, is what I'm guessing, because this is what Eric's look like as well. But I'll show you this here in a second when I'm going into the demo. So let's take a look over here. So what I want to do here is let's just go ahead and we have Copilot over here. Let's open Copilot. Oh, I didn't want to close that opportunity. Let me just open it back up. So you'll notice in a second, it should automatically, Let's see here if it does that. It should automatically create that summary for that opportunity, right? When that opportunity loads, here we go. So let's just see what it does, puts that summary together. You're all familiar with that, obviously, but I need to run this first because otherwise I can't show you this show product related files, right? Which I just showed you. So if I click on this, it's actually going to look at my opportunity products, these guys, right? So it's saying, hey, which of those do you want to get related files for? And I think it's this one. So I'm going to say show files. It is now going to search my SharePoint for those files, ta-da, and look, there they are. So from here, I can download it, I can copy it, but I really like this one, right? Being able to copy this to email. The only thing that might be a problem is that if you're sending this to a customer, right? Because it's, remember what I said, it is searching it through all of SharePoint. These are links, right? So if you're sending this to your customer and they don't have access to SharePoint, yeah, it's not going to happen, right? They're not going to be able to access that email. So just so you know, that that could be an issue. That's, again, also why I am hoping that we can point it to, you know, these SharePoint documents that are not documents or libraries that we can just share with everybody so that we don't have to, you know, worry about that, right? Them not being able to access that. All right, and then here's my full screen Copilot. How cool is that? I really like this one. If you click here on Show My Pipeline, look what it does. It not just only shows my pipeline, but it also shows that deal tracker. I forgot what the name of this thing was, right? And I can click here on the sales funnel and kind of look at that as well. So really cool things. And obviously, right, if I move to somewhere, so for example, if I say, I want to summarize this demo deal, let's just go ahead and do that. And now I'm going to go ahead and open this demo deal. Let's just go ahead and click on this. Oops. I'm going to click on that, right? It actually, it should remember the stuff that I just asked, right? Do you see that? Here's my pipeline. So it kind of travels with me, right? That stuff that I just did over there. So I just wanted to mention that as well. Okay. Microsoft Copilot for Sales. I still have so much to show, guys. So this is a new SKU which became available on February the 1st of 2020. By the way, everything that I'm talking about today, mostly everything, because there's some new stuff in there that I didn't write about yet, but most of this stuff, including Copilot, I actually created articles for. So if you go to D365goddess.com, you'll be able to read the entire article about this as well, right? What is Microsoft Copilot for Sales? So this actually has, as you can see, a price tag of $50, but it includes Copilot for Microsoft 365 as well, right? So you can kind of see that it has that. So for some of the features that I'm going to show you in the Copilot for Sales section, which is this section, you're going to be able, you're going to have Microsoft 365, Copilot for Microsoft 365 as well. Otherwise, you're just not going to be able to utilize that. So I just wanted to say that. Here are all the different, this is actually a located on the Microsoft side as well. I just kind of rebuilt it to kind of show you all the different things, right? What do you get with that? Premium sales, you get all of these standard features. So kind of wanted to show that to you guys as well. Now, this is really neat because as you can see, this is actually suggesting updates to CRM. It says to CRM opportunity. Is it to an opportunity? Yeah, I guess it is. And I just put a screenshot in here because it shows you here to do some updates, right? Update your opportunity, do some things. The other places where this is going to be visible is in Outlook, right? And in the Copilot for Sales app in Teams as well. How this works is that it really looks at your meetings that you might have had or your emails, right? Your email summaries. And then it says, hey, maybe you should update your opportunity with that. I'm just going to step out of here real quick and show you what I'm talking about. So it reads the email, right? I'm saying we have a budget set to 80K. We want to have a decision by 10/24. So what it does now, it's suggesting me to update my close date to this date that Harry mentioned, and my budget to 80K, because also, again, that's something that he mentioned, right? So I kind of wanted to show you that in Outlook as well. Really cool feature. This is, again, I think a really nice feature. It introduces an integration between Copilot for Sales and Copilot in Microsoft Teams. And the way this works is that it will detect questions that are asked during a team meeting, and that it will answer the questions by using data from the seller's knowledge base, whether it's in SharePoint, in your CRM, or in your OneDrive. So some examples of questions that can be handled is general product questions, right? So about features, capabilities, limitations, like how much water does this coffee machine hold, or how long can this phone's battery last on a single charge? Company related, so questions about the company's history and customer base, like when did the company start, how many customers do we have? Contracts and licensing, so really questions about prices of services for a specific number of users, prices of offers available. So we can ask what offers are available. Can you give me details on my current service charges? And how can I save money? And then the BANT model as well, right? So questions mostly related to budget and timing, like what is the price of the service and how long will the integration process take, those types of questions. And this is slated for public preview in June of 2024. So that's going to be very, very nice as well. Now, this is for the longest time, and I still kind of don't really understand what this is, but Copilot for Sales will actually create a profile of key stakeholders based on public data sources and internal data sources, such as CRM and SharePoint folders as well. I believe that it said that it also can look at LinkedIn profiles, right? Any stuff that's generally available online. So it will dig for that information and then put those profiles together for those folks. Now, this one, it was also kind of like, right, extract customer perception to improve sales cycles. So Copilot for Sales uses, again, those open data sources as well as internal sources like your CRM systems. And what it's going to do is a customer perception analysis. Now, I'm not 100% sure what this is going to mean in reality, how we're going to see this. I don't know, but this will be in public preview in September. So we're going to have to wait for that. And this feature, so automatically highlight sales coaching opportunities. This uses Copilot for Sales to analyze transcripts of calls and meetings between sellers and customers. And by using this feature, Copilot for Sales will be able to track knowledge gaps to improve sales coaching and then obviously improve the effectiveness of managers. So I think this one could be very interesting as well. I'm just wondering, like, where is that going to be stored? Where are we going to see, right, those coaching opportunities? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see until this becomes available for us. Now, this one I'm super excited about, right? Being able to extend Microsoft's Copilot for Sales. Now, what this means exactly is kind of unclear at this point. However, when you log into what's it called? It's not Copilot Virtual Agents anymore. Copilot, hello. So when I logged into Copilot Studio, I actually saw the Sales Copilot Power Virtual Agents bot sitting there. So my guess is that this is where we will be able to configure additional functionality for Sales Copilot. And I'm kind of thinking that it's going to be very similar to what we can do today, what's in preview today for Copilot for Microsoft 365, right? That you can use those plugins and stuff like that to point to other data sources. So you can ask questions about that as well. Again, that's just my guess. I don't know, but that would make sense to me. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But this is what I was talking about, that Copilot that's currently sitting in there. You can't really touch it right now. It will tell you, oh, you can't edit this because this is a solution that is locked or something like that. This one is great. When I saw this one for the first time, I was blown away. So this is going to allow us to use Copilot for Sales inside of Microsoft Word to create sales meeting prep documents with all sorts of relevant information for a deal. Now, usually we spend a lot of time on gathering this time of information right before meetings, but Copilot will actually now do it for us. If you've seen Copilot for Microsoft 365 in Word, then this looks really familiar, but this allows sellers, as you can see here, to also include data from Dynamics 365, right? From sales meetings and other sales documents to create those prep documents. So even though the release notes don't mention the need for Copilot for Microsoft 365 licenses to take advantage of this, I double checked with Microsoft and they said, yep, you need to have Copilot for Microsoft 365, that license, and then of course Copilot for Sales has to be enabled. So if you don't have that, if you don't have the M365 Copilot, you cannot use this functionality. And I just found out about this one today, that Copilot is actually coming to the mobile app. It's not there yet, right? We can't do any of these things that you see on the screen, those generative responses, email and opportunity summaries, tracking Outlook activities to CRM, right? In the new mobile app. I'm sure you guys read that the old one is gone. And if not, then, well, the old one is gone. So we all have to start using the new one. And some of these features will come to the mobile app as well. I cannot wait for that, because anytime I do a demo, everybody is asking me about that. So yeah, can't wait for that. All right, so now another one is, this one is actually allowing us to access several new capabilities directly from the meeting summary page. Now, my assumption is that after a meeting is completed, the user will be able to see like these action items, right? Conversational KPIs, keywords, questions that they were asking during a meeting, and speaker sentiments as well. You can kind of see here are some of those things. And then you can see here's notes mentioned. So I'm not sure what that looks like. I haven't played around with this yet. I don't even know if this is available yet, but that's definitely something that is coming as well. And this is also a new one that I found today. This is going to allow us to share email summaries and other Outlook information directly inside of Microsoft Teams chats. So that's going to be interesting to be able to do that. So again, there was not a lot of information on what exactly how that's going to work. So we're going to have to see and wait until that comes out. Now, this one, being able to collaborate with sales teams using AI-powered planner tasks. I don't know about this, guys, right? It sounds good, but I'm going to tell you why I'm not sure about this in a second. Let me first kind of explain what this is. So Copilot is going to look at conversations, right? And it's going to scan through those conversations. It's going to look for action items. Once it finds those, it's going to suggest tasks to create for them. That's what you see over here, right? A list of suggested tasks. So if the seller then approves that suggestion, then those tasks, those planner tasks will be created and they can be assigned to sellers. And then sellers will see a task app pinned to the related Teams channel, providing the sales team with that centralized view of all of those tasks, right? And then you can see your assigned tasks. Well, it's a horrible word to say. Also, you can also review them from a personal task app as well. This is going to be available, by the way, for Dynamics 365 sales and Salesforce customers. So this feature is not going to roll out to all the geographic areas, so make sure that you check the release planner to see the full list of countries. Now, the reason why I maybe am not too crazy about this is that, and I shared this also with Microsoft, is because, you know, are we working just off of Dynamics tasks, or this is going to make that a little bit complicated, right? Because now you have to go to Planner to do your tasks, but we also have tasks in Dynamics, and we have tasks that are being created by the Sales Accelerator. So that's why I don't know. I'm not really sure about this. I probably wouldn't like my sales team to have to go to different places to do the same thing. We're not the same thing, but to look at the tasks. So I don't know. All right, we are at customer service and we're halfway done and I still have a ton. So this one is the ability to look at the configuration health in the admin center. Now, this was actually added to Dynamics 365 customer service last year. And according to the doc site, Microsoft released this obviously to allow us to do this health check. Now, the difference here is that you're now going to actually be able to see that directly on here, but there is a button now to run this health check manually. And in this way, you're also going to see there's going to be more things that are going to be checked when you run that health check. So I really like this, this feature. Here's another one that I'm not too crazy about, right? I'm not sure if this is a good one, but whatever. The reason I say that is because I don't think that we want to create multiple or duplicate cases for the same issue that a customer has, but it seems this feature allows for exactly that. So again, I don't know. So as you can see here, you can kind of see it over here. If emails are sent to multiple queue-enabled mailboxes, they get converted into multiple cases. So let me give you an example. I have two different mailboxes that are queue-enabled, support, and I have product support. I don't know. So I have one email that is sent to both of those mailboxes. Guess what? Two cases are being created. I don't know if I like that, right? Then if a customer replies to an email and then adds another queue-enabled mailbox, then that one gets a case created as well. Again, I don't know. Oops. I don't know if I like that. I think it's going to drive us crazy to have like 5 cases for the same customer for the exact same issue. So I don't really understand where that feature is coming from, but I'm not going to activate that because I don't think it's a good idea. All right. This one is kind of nice because in many countries, right, you have to get recording consent. That's mandatory, right? So now administrators can actually enable the call recording opt-in for customer interactions with your voice bot. That's what that IVR means, right? So the only thing here is that a customer has to consent to being recorded. If you don't get the consent, the recording is disabled, right, to make sure we're under compliance. And if a caller opts out, then Copilot Studio instructs Omnichannel for customer service to stop the recording, delete the audio that it recorded so far, and then stop capturing dialogue for that call. So I kind of like that. I think that's a good one, especially, like I said, if your country doesn't allow you to record without consent. So I really like this one. This is, I'm sure you've seen this, right? This generates a brief catch-up list, right? That highlight list of the 3 most recent key events from the timeline of a record. And that's kind of what you see over here, right here on that screenshot. You can actually disable this in make.powerapps.com. I don't know where. I looked, I couldn't find it. So I asked Microsoft, hopefully they will write back to me soon, because, right? But according to the documentation, it can be disabled or enabled. And currently it is available in those Dynamics 365 sales, customer service, marketing, and custom model driven Power Apps as well. But as you can see, there's not a lot of geographic areas that actually have it, but we are one of them. So yay, that's cool. All right, I really like this one. I did a full article and a video on this as well. This is actually the 3rd time, maybe 4th time that Microsoft actually enhanced some of those email capabilities. And this is actually related to the attachment experience. So now we're going to be able to do dragging and dropping. We can copy and paste attachments from emails that are already living inside of Dynamics 365. We can download them and we can delete them in bulk. We will see the attachment size displayed in the appropriate units. We can toggle between the different views that we have here. You can see here, export attachment to details to Excel. We could already do that in case you weren't aware of that, but we can still do that. And the thing that I do like, and we can do this with notes as well, by the way, you can configure this But with the email, it's out of the box that you can actually add attachments before you save an email. So that's going to be a lot faster now, right? So I'm gonna like that one for sure. And this one, I'm sure you've seen this one as well, right? This is really allowing us to, for customer service organizations, to estimate the volume of cases or customer conversations, right? And not just on a daily basis, but we can even look at that at 15-minute intervals. And this is great because it's always hard for those customer service organizations to kind of estimate, right? What's going to be the volume? How many people should we need? Now, I'm sure you know that we've had the forecasting for cases for a while now, but in this release, there are more enhancements there, right? So we can forecast these case volumes daily now. We can visualize those forecasts as well. You can kind of see that on the screenshot over here. And then we can kind of slice and dice those forecasted volumes by the different channels and the queues. And then we can automatically detect seasonality from historical traffic to help those customer service managers accurately predict case volumes during seasonal events, et cetera, as well. And like I said, the 15-minute intervals, right? That's a very nice one as well to be able to have to do that. All right, so this one is kind of cool. Think about this, right? You can have, as an organization, you can have a ton of knowledge materials accumulated over the years, right? Think about Microsoft. They must have so much stuff, Xbox, and I don't know, all that kind of stuff. So think about how easy it is now going to be, right? By using these filters to kind of say, I only want to look for those types of knowledge articles, right? So for example, if an agent is working on cases relating to, right, Xbox gaming systems, you don't need to search, right, support hardware. You probably only need support software, right? Or the other way around, whatever, right? So this is kind of what you're going to be able to do with that. I haven't played around with it yet, but I did see that it was in there already. So if you're interested in that, definitely give it a look-see. And this is, I don't want to spend too much time on that. This is kind of just showing agents where the information that Copilot is providing, where that is coming from. So that's why you see the little 1 and you see the little 2, right? So the 2 here, resetting the machine, is coming from a knowledge base article. So you can kind of see, and we've seen this also in different places as well, right? That we now have more visibility into where some of that data is coming from. But I think it's kind of cool. Oops, I'm going too fast. Go back. If this feature is enabled in the customer service admin center, then Copilot is going to give automatic prompts, which give agents contextual suggestions of other things that they can ask Copilot about, or other things to do next. Now, I looked for this in the customer service admin center and I couldn't find it. So again, asked, maybe it's not available yet in my instance. I don't know. So I asked Microsoft where I could do this, and I'm still waiting for an answer for them. So we'll see. But this is definitely something that is coming, which is kind of nice, right? Hey, make sure that you do this as well. And you can ask me about this as well. So I kind of like that. Dialer enhancements. Couple of updates in the dialer in customer service is the enhancements in the transfers to external numbers. So with this one, when an agent transfers a call to an external phone number, this can actually now be done in one step. So once they transfer the call, the agent will immediately be disconnected from the call and any recording or transcribing will stop. And another feature related to transferring a call is the ability to transfer a call to a Microsoft Teams user through VoIP. We couldn't do this before, right? So this is a big deal because right now we can transfer calls to users who don't have a Microsoft Teams phone number. Right, much cheaper option. Now you don't need those call plans for everybody, right? With those phone numbers. So that's kind of some of the new stuff that came and is coming over here. And then we have an enhancement for outbound calling. So you're going to be able to search for a contact or an account from the outbound dialer. I tried that earlier today. It's not working for me yet. So again, probably something that comes out later. And another feature that's available, and that one was actually there, is to be able to test your microphone and speakers before, during, or after call. I always had to call myself before a demo to make sure that everything was working. So this is definitely a good one. And then lastly, you know how you get out on a Teams meeting and then you stop and then it asks you how the quality was? So we're going to be able to do that inside of that dialer as well. And then you can kind of configure some of those things, right? When do you want them to show up? Maybe every 100 calls, right? Or maybe for a specific time period. So we have some configurations options on there as well. This one also I have not played around with. I'm not sure if it's there yet. I think it is there yet, actually. I think this is a pretty cool one because it will allow agents to find other agents based on the skills that are assigned to them, right? So the scenario here could be a call or a chat that needs to be escalated to a different agent, or an agent needs to consult with someone, maybe because the agent who answered the call doesn't have the correct skill set to help the customer, right? So this is going to allow agents to filter and then search for other agents based on those skills that are configured, right? Makes it a lot easier, right, to find the correct person versus having to talk to 5 different people before you actually found the right one. Sure, if you work somewhere at 5 years, you know exactly who to ask for what, but if you're a new person, you're not going to know. So this is going to be very helpful for that, for sure. And then I don't want to spend too much time on this one either. This is just going to allow you to mark sensitive data and prevent unauthorized access, right? So you can kind of see here some rules that we can set up to handle that sensitive data and some masking rules that we can enable on here as well. I really like this one. I think this one is so cool. This is a huge one, right? Because I actually haven't played around with voicemails in Dynamics 365 customer service, right? I like I said, I'm pre-sales, so I do a lot of demos. How do you demo customers? How do you demo a voicemail? I don't. Is there a voicemail available? Yes, there is. That's my demo of voicemail, right? But now we're going to be able to convert a voicemail message to a case. That sounds pretty good. I don't know how that's going to work, like if it's just going to create a case or if it listens to the message and then maybe pre-populate a couple of fields. I don't know, but I do know that agents will see a button on the command bar of, in that voicemail message, and then that's how you can convert it to a case. But how else it works, I don't know yet. I definitely want to have to look into this. There are actually 3 features that are part of unified routing. And the first one is the ability to configure up to 200 route to queue rules in a work stream. Now, this is a pretty big deal because previously we were only able to configure 100 of these, right? So with this feature, that's now doubled. And the ability to use overflow for lengthy wait times for work items is another feature that is super important. Think about this, right? Call centers often deal with spikes of customer inquiries, right? So overflow handling is a necessity. So previously, we were able to enable the overflow feature and set up, conditions and actions, but it was kind of limited if you've seen it. So, but on top of that, we were only able to configure rules that would run before work items were queued. And with this enhancement, we can now configure conditions and actions before and after work items are queued. And they will be able to enter conditions when wait times are exceeded by a certain number of minutes. So we never had that, right? So this is a pretty cool thing. And a feature that goes hand in hand with those sudden spikes of customer conversations is for the application to immediately sync changes that are made to queue membership. So today, if we add an agent, well, not today, because this is, if you have let me just say previously, if you added an agent or if you removed an agent from a queue, you would have to wait 15 minutes, right? All of the omnichannel stuff, if you change anything in those omnichannel settings, you would have to wait 15 minutes for that update to actually sync in the application, right? Now with this enhancement, that only this particular change, right? If you change the queue membership for an agent, it's going to be immediate. I really want them to do that for everything in omnichannel, right? Because I hate having to wait for that for 15 minutes. But who knows? I'm hoping that that definitely will be coming. All right. Cool. Making good time. We even have some time for questions maybe at the end. Okay, so let's take a look over here. So the first thing I wanted to show you here is what I talked about earlier. And you see this little highlight button. This is that timeline highlights. You see this almost everywhere, right? If you open an account, you see it. If you open opportunity, you see it. And I just picked an account. Sorry, a contact, because I have a couple of voice calls on here. You can see that my name is actually spelled correctly here, right? That's how you write my name. But what it does is it actually will look at, I'm going to do this again. It will look at the timeline, including this voice call. And because I had a call with myself, look at that. And it actually, right, she contacted Dian Taylor. Look at that. How funny is that, right? Because that's how you would think you would write it. So it actually goes through those calls that are recorded. And then that's what it uses to put together that those highlights, those bullets from, right? Like I said earlier, this is just like the top 3 that it's looking at, but it's kind of funny that it kind of changed the spelling of my name. That's also how I found out that it was actually taking that from one of those voice calls. So I thought that was kind of cool. All right. And then let's take a look at that enhanced email experience. So I open it up already, so you guys don't have to wait for me, right, to open these records. So a couple of things that you can do with this. This is that enhancement that we have in here, right? So I can now, let me just go ahead and go to my downloads. I can just go ahead and drag and, oh crap, that's not what I wanted to do. Sorry. I can just drag and drop this in here. Let me make this a little bit smaller so you can kind of see this. So I'm going to drop this version thing here. Bloop. So this is now that PNG that I just dropped in there. So you can do drag and drop now, which is kind of cool. The other thing you can do is you can say, oh, I want to select all of them, or I want to select a couple of them, whatever, right? Or maybe just these 3, or maybe just this one. And then I want to copy that, right? I can, well, this is paste, but I can then go ahead and say, copy that attachment, right? And then I can paste it into another message. The other thing that I can do is, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Go away. If I click on this little arrow here, I can attach stuff from previous emails. So if I click on this, and look at this. This is, by the way, I noticed that, and of course, this is my demo instance, so I don't think there's other senders in there that have attachments in there, but I need to test this because my question to myself was like, will I only see the attachments that I sent, or will I also see attachments that other people sent? So I don't know because I haven't tested it yet, but this is all of my emails that are sitting in Dynamics, right? So I can just say, okay, do this guy again, or this is all from this one version. I do my RSM opportunity quote and I attach it. It's already in here, but yeah, it came from another one. And then I can go ahead and delete that. I can also, let's see here, look at my grid view and then also have some actions, right? Where I can say copy this attachment. I can look at the file. As you can see, I can select several of these and I can just say, hey, just download that. And then I can say, let's just go ahead and do everything here. And then I can export this to Excel. And let's just go ahead and go to my downloads here. And here's my download, see what that looks like. And then you're going to be able to see the file size in here as well. We could do this before, by the way, so, but it's still kind of a cool feature. I don't think, yes, I want to view those files later. I don't think we had this in a view before here on that email, right, on the attachment view, the size. So I think that's kind of cool to be able to see that in there. So that's the email attachments. And then lastly, I wanted to show you guys, come on, right? That dialer here. Okie dokie. So as you can see here, it says type name / number. So this is what I think what they mean by being able to search for context in here. But if I try to type a letter in here, it will not let me. If I type numbers in here, it will let me do that. So I guess maybe, I don't know why it says type name. Doesn't work for me. I can, however, just start, calling this way, right? I can just click on that. Then what I wanted to show you here is the ability to make a test call, right? I can test my my speakers. I can test my microphone. I can make a test call. So we can now do all of those things that we couldn't do before, which again makes it a lot easier for me because like I said earlier, I constantly had to call myself. So that really didn't help. All right. Yay, I have 4 minutes left, and I think that was it. Yes. Are there any questions?